What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how you can send thousands of messages a day to your followers on Instagram using a special tool. So if you don't know my name is Guido, and I run a company called Coaching Systems Incubator, where I help coaches go from 5K per month to 50K per month by implementing a DM setter and AI systems. And so today my goal is just to help you as much as possible and figure out how to send 1,000+ messages a day to your followers on Instagram for whatever you might need. Before we start, if you're new here, please give me a follow and like this video so that I can grow and help more people with these types of tutorials. So let's get into it. What is the main reason why you'd want to have something like this, right? So basically the tool that you use for this stuff is called ManyChat, and it's a Facebook partner. So it's totally normal and totally something that you can use. And it basically allows you to automatically send messages to people when they send you something, right? So let's say you're doing a two-step post or a post where you're offering something for free and you ask them to send you a specific type of keyword. You can then set up an automation on ManyChat that allows you to send automatically a message back with the materials that they're asking for automatically without you having to do it manually or hiring a VA, which is annoying, right? So this, I'm going to show you today how to build a flow just like that. Okay, so let's go straight into it, and I'm going to share my screen. So this is ManyChat. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do, I'm going to put myself on the side. What you want to do first is get started. Okay, but since I already have an account, I'm just going to sign in. Okay, but you're going to have to sign in using likely your Facebook account. Okay, I would recommend that. And your Facebook has to be connected with your IG, right? So I'm going to sign in with my Facebook. Should be going in exactly. And this is my account. Perfect. Awesome. So in this case, let's go into it. So basically what you want to do, I'm just going to explain this a little bit. You have home here, a few things that you don't really need to use this one. Context is all the people that have messaged you inside of Instagram. And with all the tags here on the left side, very useful. Automations is what we're going to go into, right? Where you can set up flows for people so that, you can actually send them automatically things. You have the actual live chats, right? When you're messaging people and talking to them, and settings here. So it doesn't matter. So what you want to do is go here to automation, okay? The one that looks like a atom. And then you want to click here on new automation, okay? Then inside of new automation, you want to click here, start from scratch, okay? And so this is what the flow looks like, okay? Basically, this is where you start. So how does this work, right? You basically have a trigger, and then you can set up as many steps as you want after that, okay? And the trigger basically tells the system on when you're supposed to send it. And so this is very useful, right? And there are various triggers in contact events and also Instagram. I'd recommend sticking to Instagram. It's easier. You can also just do this on Facebook, but I don't really use Facebook. So on Instagram, what you can do, there's a few triggers. You have user clicks an Instagram ad, right? If you're running ads, and you can connect it directly to ManyChat. User comments on your post or reel, right? This is a big one as well. User replies to your story. User clicks a referral link. I haven't really used this one, honestly. And user sends a direct message with a keyword, okay? And then user comments on your live. Typically, the ones you're going to use are comments, reply to your story, and send direct message with a keyword. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to use this one, okay? The direct message. So here we go, okay? So you click on that, and then now you need to set up the if then, kind of like, this might sound like really nerdy and programmatic, but it's really not. It's like it's very, click and touch. And so it's very, very simple. But basically, there's this concept in programming, which is if X thing happens, then do Y, right? Very simple, right? English, grammar, that's it. So basically, what we want to do here is if the message that they're sending us, right, because it's an Instagram DM, if the message contains a specific type of keyword, right, let's just put keyword here, then it will send us, it will continue the flow, okay? If it doesn't contain that word, then it doesn't do, right? If your keyword is quite common and it might show up in conversation throughout the rest of the process, like when you're DM setting, right? Then I would recommend to have message is, because then it's only going to trigger if they only send a keyword, right? But the problem is you might miss out on people that don't really know how to spell, or if they send other things like an emoji, right? So ideally, my recommendation is pick a keyword that is, different, right? So for example, my last name, they're probably not going to use my last name, right? But if they send it, that's going to help a lot, right? And it doesn't matter if if it seems like, I don't know, narcissistic to use your last name. Just use something that is not, you can use something else, right? So you have is, contains whole word, begins with, right? Doesn't contain, right? So all those would be good. But let's say we stick with this one for now. So we click on create, right? And now we have a trigger. Officially, we have a trigger, right? So the trigger is user sends a direct message with a keyword. Message is krache, right? Not something else. When that happens, then, right, then it will continue the flow. Now we need to see what's next, okay? What I would recommend to do is before you even send a message, you want to follow a tagging system, and feel free to message me. I'm happy to help you with creating a tagging system. I have one myself. But basically, you can click on here actions, and these actions are going to add, for example, tags, right? So let's say, for example, let's say potential client, right? That's a tag. So basically, if somebody sends a direct message with this keyword, it will tag them as potential clients. Now, why do we want this? Is because then we can go into the chats here, live chats, filter based on the people that have that tag, so we know to only focus on those, right, and not on the others that are like not a fit, for example, right? Some other actions that you can add would be, for example, to mark. I'd recommend to mark. Where is that? There we go. Live chat. Mark conversation is open, right? So make sure it doesn't go to the closed folder. Doesn't matter, but this is helpful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can keep this simple for now. So it will do this, and then the next step, right? This is instantaneous, basically. And the next step will then be to send a message. Okay. Now, if you want to seem more human, right? It's not a bad idea for your followers to think you're a little bit more human. What you can do is actually add a step here in between and do here smart delay. Okay. So this is a pro feature, right? So you need the pro, but basically you can add a delay of like minimum is 10 seconds, right? Let's say 15 seconds, right? Because then it seems kind of a little bit more human, right? Like you wouldn't really be waiting for somebody to message your keyword to then message them right away, right? Whereas if you have a 15 to 30-second delay, it seems more human, right? And then you send them a message. Okay. Next step, always connect, right? These flows. Now on Instagram specifically, now this is your first message. Sorry about that. This is the first message, right? So this is going to be the message that you send at first. That first message could be whatever you want. I personally recommend something like this. Okay. You don't need to, this is not super important, right? You can just send something, right? But there's one element that I would recommend you to have, which is in the second message, that is, is going to make a big difference. And instead of sending, like, when you're texting and you don't really send like a whole wall of text, right? Or even like a wall of text, but like divided into paragraphs within the same message. That's kind of weird, right? Nobody does that. When you're texting others, usually it's like short 1-line messages, max 2 lines in a row, right? And with some time in between. So what I would recommend is to do the same. So you can say something like, yo, or hey, whatever you want, right? Hey, appreciate you reaching out. And then, I don't know, muscle. Let's use or this one, depends what your vibe is, but you want this to emulate your writing style, right? Or else it's not going to be good. You can ignore all of this stuff. This is for more of like complex automations. Don't use this now. So, hey, appreciate you reaching out, right? But that's not enough, right? What we want now is to have a second message, right? We're going to have 3 messages in a row. And some people, they would just write here something else, but I don't recommend that because, again, it doesn't look natural, right? Now, does it look natural to send right away another message without any seconds in between? Probably not, right? So what you want to do is add another smart delay. And in this case, it can be like 10 seconds, This one you can put like 30, and then this one 10, right? Because it makes sense. 10 seconds to write something is reasonable. And then you write another message, right? So you drag this and then you click on Instagram, right? Or you can also right click. Oh, no, I guess right click doesn't work. Sorry. You go here to the plus and you click on content and then Instagram and open this. Okay. You drag it and then you connect it. And then the second message, what I recommend is to send whatever thing you promised, right? So here's the video, right? I was going to say PDF, but nobody sends PDFs anymore. Here's a video. And then you send a link here. Okay. Now there's also another strategy where you kind of hold off on sending the free training that you promised. So to hold leverage so that the person has to have a conversation with you before they can like consume the thing. Either way is fine. I personally like just to send it and then still build rapport and still build a conversation, because the value of the thing that we sent will come back to us in goodwill, right? So here's the video, send the thing, right? And then what you want to do is a third message, right? Because a lot of people will just stop here. Like, here's the video. You can stop here and it's perfectly fine, right? Trust me, like it's totally fine. You basically already got it done. You can click on set live, and then this will run every time that somebody messages you the keyword that you selected, right? And it will do all this stuff, right? By sequence. But what if you could actually, what if you could actually start a conversation with a person, right? And so what I like to do actually is in this last one, in the next step, you add another smart delay of 10 seconds, right? 10 seconds. And then you add an Instagram message of with a question, right? Because the person messaged you, so it's inbound, you can kind of take a little bit more liberty in the questions that you ask. If it was cold outreach, for example, I'd recommend to ask what we call like a neutral message, right? That saying appreciating somebody for reaching out or for following us or something like that. If it's like warm outreach, which is like your followers. If it's pure cold outreach, then you kind of want to make an offer in the first message, or you kind of just want to start a casual conversation, depending if you're B2B or B2C, right? Regardless, since this is more somebody messaging us, we can ask whatever question we want, pretty much get an answer. But the one I recommend is what's called a North Star question, right? And the North Star question gives us a direction, right? Which is the purpose of a North Star. It gives us like the reason why they actually wanted the training in the first place. So the more specific you can make this question based on the training and based on the avatar that you have, the better, right? So that's what I recommend. So let's say an example, fitness offer, right? Losing weight. You could say something like, by the way, right? And don't be shy of using like abbreviations, right? That's called abbreviation. I don't know. Anyways, check out Urban Dictionary. But like don't be shy, because that makes it more conversational, right? You don't want to be too pro. You don't want to be too professional. It's just weird. Pretend you're talking to a friend, right? So what is a question, right? You can ask something like, what made you interested in the weight loss training in the first place, right? So let's say it's just a generic weight loss training that could work, right? You can also make it more specific, right? Like what made you interested in um let me think of something. What made you interested in the training? No, that's kind of similar. So we can change the variation and do something like, um by the way, just curious, since the training is about losing weight, are you dealing with are you struggling with doing so, right? Something like that, because this is going to automatically, they're right there, right? They're consuming the thing. They're going to thank you for the thing. So they're not going to mind like answering a kind of generic question like that. And that's what's going to give you is something to pull from, right? So that you can actually start a conversation, right? Then they'll say something like, yeah, I wanted the training because I really like your tips on how to lose weight. Oh, gotcha. And how does that relate to your situation, right? Because you want to get a stronger start in the beginning. Well, I really I want to find a system that finally works for me. Finally, right? Boom. Now we have something, right? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sounds like, the things you've tried in the past haven't really worked, or, what exactly is happening? Yeah, exactly. And then you see, you have a conversation with them, you can have it, and eventually you book a call, right? So this is pretty much it though. At this point, this is the flow you want to have. One extra thing, right? If you have a DM setter, you're going to probably put them inside of ManyChat, right? More than likely, I'd recommend that. So you can, tag all the conversations and track them. And so what you want to do is add an extra action here that is going to assign. I don't believe there's an option here because I only have one person. But basically, there's going to be an option here in live chat. Oh, there we go. Assign conversation to, in this case, I'm going to assign it to myself, obviously, because it's the only person here for this account. So that the person has that in their list of people to contact, right? And so that way they can start having a conversation. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then once you're done with that, right, you just set it live. So this is a pro feature, right? So this account doesn't have the pro feature, but in the smart delays are pro features, right? But you basically click set live and it would be live. If you want to make this simpler and you want to use the pro, that's totally cool too. You just remove, I'll do that now so you can see that. You remove the smart delays, right? Remove all of that. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is very click and drag, nothing too scientific. And just do this, okay? 3 messages in a row. It's not as good, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. And then set live, okay? Let's see, now it's good. So now every time somebody messages me, Croce, it's going to work, okay? So that's pretty much it. And then what I would recommend is to make sure you name this properly, so you can keep track because you're probably going to create a lot of automations eventually. So what I would do is DM, right? Because it DM'd us. It's not story, it's not comment, it's DM. And then the keyword, right? Gotcha. Or let's put it like this. Easier. Okay. And then that's it. And then every time you want to go, you go here to automations. You want to check things out, go to automations and you'll see it here. Okay. That's pretty much it for today. Hope that was helpful. Basically, that's how you send 1,000 messages a day. It's completely automatic. No need for VAs. No need for expensive. As you saw, that was practically free. There is a certain point where you're gonna need up to 1,000 contacts. But for what it does for you, it saves you a ton of time. You don't have to manage anybody, and you can use this for so many more things. And I'm excited to share that with you guys as well as much as possible because this changed my life. And my goal is actually in the future to build a tool that sets appointments for you automatically based on ManyChat, so you don't even have to hire anybody. That's coming. But it will come in the future. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have a great day and talk soon.